Thank you for tuning in once again to his Vine and Victory podcast. My name is Kurt Olson. I'm your host, coming to you on May the 6th, 2026. And uh, three things I want to bring to your attention. And the first one involves the situation that unfolded last night in New York City. Sometime during the day yesterday, there were a variety of Islamist protesters. They of the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah variety. They show up at Park East Synagogue. Um, Park East Synagogue is on 67th Street. According to Google Maps, not too far from Park Avenue. And this crowd got bigger and bigger, and don't know why they chose this synagogue over some other one. But the next thing you knew, the police were there with barricades, and this group was trying to overrun the barricades. They compelled the synagogue that had a Jewish daycare to close early, and it was an ugly scene. It was an ugly scene. These people were shouting acts of terrorism. They were shouting, we don't want Zionists here. They were saying globalize the Intifada. They all the stuff that we've been witnessing over the past, nearly 3 years since the October 7, 2023 attack by Hamas on Israel. And the stuff that has unfolded on American college campuses, or many college campuses, especially elite college campuses. And this is a scene that could have ended in deaths. And quite frankly, very fortunate that it didn't happen. But it just gets to this overriding issue that's unfolding in our country right now of how do you share a country with these people? How do you share a country with people who think it's okay to kill Jews, who think it's okay to celebrate terrorism, who think it's okay to praise the proxies of a government that has been the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism for decades in the nation of Iran? And it was just an ugly scene. I will, in the description to the podcast, I will provide a link to a video, and people can watch it for themselves. But it the rise of anti-Semitism in this country is ugly, and it won't end well. And we've already seen Jews killed in this country. And some of these people are just thirsty for more. And it's an ugly situation. And I wish I knew how to say, oh, everything's going to be okay. And while the optimist in me says, yeah, everything is going to work out, we still have a situation where the federal government is not doing much. And we still have a situation where I think the average person who becomes aware of these things is sitting back saying, how do you coexist with these people? How do you share the same space, a country, with people who think it's okay to kill other people. And it gets to something that I said just last weekend after I got back in town from picking up my daughter from college about the situation with the political violence on the left, and this just underscores more of it. And it's a really ugly scene, and I wish I knew where it ends. I don't. And that's going to lead me into things involving Iran. Now, it's been a few weeks since I've said anything here. Um, I just want to catch some people up on some things that um, have unfolded here in recent days. Okay, so we've kind of ended Operation Epic Fury, and we're doing Project Freedom. Okay, that was announced. I think it was Monday, and we're going to be safely navigating ships through the Strait of Hormuz. At which time, apparently, Iran put a stop to it, or thought they put a stop to it. Meanwhile, you have Pakistan and Saudi Arabia that have been working behind the scenes to try and get some kind of a negotiated agreement between Trump, Israel, Iran. I don't know why they're doing this, because all indications are that we're not going to be agreeing to whatever they're proposing. And they aren't going to be agreeing to anything that we're proposing, which includes everything from nukes to other things. And the other question is, who really is in charge in this country right now? Um, there are times we've seen certain faces. There are other times we've seen other faces. There are other times we've seen someone with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. And no one knows who's in charge of this country. And until that unfolds, um, I don't know what usefulness is coming to this idea of talks. And then that just gets to the bigger issue with Iran, which is these people are apocalyptic, Islamic apocalyptic murderers. Iran's leadership wakes up every day with the expressed desire to wipe Israel off the face of the map. And they think in doing so, they are ushering in the 12th Mahdi, or the Mahdi, involving Islamic eschatology. And you can't reason and talk to these people, yet we continue to do it. Um, and I don't know what the point is, and I don't understand it. I get the fact that Trump is trying to show the world he can be a reasonable person, and when others are trying to intervene and have some kind of reconciliation, um, uh, that he's a voice of reason, and he's someone who can be reasoned with. But the harsh reality is the other side can't be reasoned with. And here's the other thing that's going on right now. So we have, I believe this was Monday, um, Iran used, I believe it was a drone, to attack a pipeline in the United Arab Emirates. And the United Arab Emirates has created an alliance with Israel. And there could be other Arab nations that join a coalition to remove the regime from power. Um, and given that this is a nation where they continue to kill people that they have imprisoned following as a result of the protests that were unfolding right after Christmas, um, you know, regime change is what they want. And I explained this previously. Iran is a nation of about 90, 91, 92 million people, and you have somewhere between 3 and 9 million who are these rabid supporters of the Islamic regime. Now, you do the math. That leaves an awful lot of people who despise them. And that's why they had protests that unfolded beginning right after Christmas. And it led to the massacre of the generous and conservative estimate is 40 some thousand. I believe that estimate is much larger than that, but that's me. But the harsh reality is that's what's going on in the country. And there's a variety of things that are unfolding here that would indicate that Iran has no desire for a negotiated peace. And every time Trump steps off the gas, they go to social media and they mock him and all kinds of stuff. Now, Donald Trump's a big boy, and he can handle whatever from them, especially when we've decimated their military or a lot of their capability. And I just think we should finish the job, arm people, and let them have their way with these thugs that have been running their country, and they can take their country back. Um, we'll see what happens. Supposedly, sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, we're going to know how this lands and what's going to be unfolding from there. But that's the latest there, and it's just really there's a lot of questions and question marks that exist there, and I still believe in the end we're going to do the right thing, and I want to believe that to be true. But this is also true. If we leave the Islamic regime in power in any shape, manner, or form, some of the Iranian people will hate us for a long time because we intervened and didn't finish the job. So there's that. This last thing is something that has unfolded in the last, I want to say, recent days. And I'm going to leave a link in the description to the podcast. This video runs a little over 3.5 minutes. So, background. Apparently, the federal government is getting ready to release information publicly that talks about UFOs and aliens. And there are some people in the intelligence community who are Christ followers. And apparently they had a few of these guys in the intelligence community had a meeting recently with a handful of people, and what I don't know is if that resulted in a second meeting and it was a bigger group of people, or if this was the only group that they talked to. The harsh reality, the upshot here is this. Apparently, in the coming weeks, months, there's supposed to be information coming out from the federal government that says UFOs are real and aliens are real. And there has been a desire from some Christians in the intelligence community for pastors to be able to prepare their congregations, because the release of this information could blow a lot of things up. Get people to question their faith, have people asking all kinds of questions, you name it. Now, this video that I'm going to share comes from someone by the name of Jason Z. The ministry is called jasonz.com. I've never seen this guy. I don't know him from Adam. And he does a little bit of back and forth with two other guys that were in the same meeting he was. And I don't know the other two guys either. And so it's not to say their ministries aren't legitimate. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just underscoring here that some people might have heard of these guys and know who they are. I personally haven't. And I've been acquainted with a lot of things in evangelical Christianity for a long time. Even certain names that I don't necessarily listen to with any kind of regularity, I can say, oh yeah, that person is such and such. But Jason Z, I don't know, and these other two guys I've never seen before, and they describe this meeting. I will let people watch that video on their own. This is my take on all the upcoming talk about UFOs and aliens and reptilian creatures and you name it. Put it all in the same umbrella. My Bible tells me that Jesus Christ came to earth. He left heaven, came to earth as a baby, was born of a virgin, and would live somewhere between 30 and 33 years. His earthly ministry was something that changed the world. And Christ came to die for human beings, not aliens, not extraterrestrials, not reptilian creatures, none of it. He came to die for men, women, boys, and girls who would choose to receive Christ's free gift of salvation. And we've had these periodic moments where, there's something that grabs a headline and, oh, 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 this is a big deal. And we've seen it with a little bit more frequency in the last probably 3 to 5 years. Every once in a while, a headline pops out, oh, UFOs. And you're getting more and more of these occasionally where UFOs are legitimate. They're a thing. The U.S. government, the military, has all the evidence. I don't care what these people say. I believe that whatever is coming will be an instrument by Satan to deceive people. And that this will be yet another example of spiritual warfare going on in our culture. And there'll be people that will, call me crazy, all that other stuff. Fine. I can handle that. But as a follower of Jesus Christ, I believe all this chatter is a diversion, a distraction, and things that will be used in the culture to keep people from focusing on the main thing. And the main thing, Jesus Christ. And we have had in recent years talk of revival among some certain groups of Gen Z. And I've seen some of the research that indicates a growing interest and importance in religious and spiritual activity in Americans. And while I'm not of the point where I can say, oh yeah, we're having an experience and revival in the United States of America, there are some people that have taken that course. But the harsh reality is anything that comes out on this stuff, I don't care what it is. I don't care who's saying it. I don't care what kind of authority or legitimacy they supposedly have. Spiritual warfare. And Satan's going to use it to deceive, confuse, distract, divert a whole bunch of people. And I'm just letting people know in advance. For me, for my family, for where I am, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. And that's all I have this week. I mean, um, I didn't expect to be talking about UFOs in this episode. The things that I saw when I got home from work yesterday and this morning kind of changed all that. Um, and hopefully that's all I end up saying about it. But who knows? Maybe in due course, as things happen, may have to address it again in the future. This Sunday is Mother's Day. Um, Please take time to celebrate your moms. And uh, if you like what I'm saying here, if you like what you're reading in my columns, please share it. And for those who do, I thank you in advance. For those who uh, for those who are new to me and this podcast, his vine and fig tree. This podcast is about freedom. It's about the things that we do as Christians, as individuals, as people in the United States of America, that whether it is worship, work, leisure, the things that cause us to do things. And I got a 20 plus year background in journalism. Um, the following of current events is even far longer than that. And I'm trying to produce something here that keeps people in the know about certain things that are happening in our country and elsewhere in the world. And until next time, God bless and goodbye.